Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Midi Knight bringing you another 5-0. This time a NuWa deck for the Gauntlet Grand Melee. We're going to be having a couple new ones coming out. Grand Melee, Divine Battle, and the Greek Pantheon War over the next couple days. Already got everything recorded, but as of right now, let's describe this deck. This deck is really a standard Chinese deck where we replaced a lot of the ranged units with just card drawing abilities out of Departed Warrior and Elder Harpy. The rest of the deck is very standard. Chinese gets a lot of good melee cards with Gladiator, Ao Kuang, Guan Yu. You can still use all your powerful spell cards like Calamity and Dragon King, and finishing it off with Juggernaut and Fire Giant. Alright, so in game one, let's see who we get. We get an Odin versus NuWa. Odin's not the best matchup, but at the same time it's also not the worst, so can't really complain here. We get a decent hand. The Imperial Guard is definitely the 3-drop that we're going to want to be casting here. And I pitch the rest of it. Start figuring out what we want to spend this mana on, whether it be coining into a 3-drop, but being that I could kill his 2 there with just my 2, I decided to save the coin and instead went for just that hero power there. Now at the current state of the board, I'm very ahead. This Imperial Guard is definitely a nightmare. Even this Chaos Spawn play is still really good for me, mainly because he used his 4-turn to deal with my 3-turn. So that's really nice, you know. We're also going to be dropping a Gladiator here. He provides 1 damage a turn by making the hero power free, and it's starting to look pretty good, regardless of the fact that he's got me so low here. Now on turn 5, this is kind of a odd play here, but when it comes down to it, we really just need to keep the board clear. So it really comes down to just double casting our card drawing mechanisms. What this does, however, is block off access to my summoning stone, meaning that I won't be taking damage for this turn. It looks like he's using a lot of his cards to deal with what's on the board, so I'm really not too worried about that. We're starting to get a little close to a combo here where he could pop a Loki or something similar and really screw my day, but I feel like I really have the board. Going into my 7, the Juggernaut's really going to be powerful since he has nothing on the board. This allows me to just eat whatever he plays if it's under 4 life. 5 if I use my hero power. Yeah, this is the perfect solution to this right here. So we're going to clear off the front of his summoning stone here with the Juggernaut's ability, and then drop a Fire Giant to finish this off. Against Odin, really make sure to keep all 3 lanes open, and by open I mean the opposite of that, of course. Open with your guys to close off access to their guys. Alright, we got our wonderful projection there, taking out his Ymir. I'm going to be doubling the movement of my team and really putting the beats on this guy here. Well, it looks like he doesn't think he can win anymore, so he's going to be passing. Oh, I remember this game. This was a good game. I didn't really draw too good on this one, but anytime I see a Mayan deck that gets a win, I really don't complain, because most of the time the Mayan player is the one who's playing less powerful cards every turn, so you really don't have a reason to complain about drawing bad when a third of their cards really, I don't want to say bad, but are just not very good. Like 3 turns of me doing nothing and him playing that. That was actually a pretty good play. He was able to take out my creature there and kind of make me play a little bit more defensively with my Imperial Guard play. We do have the Ao Kuang next turn. Or Sun Wukong. And I'll probably be looking at Chaos Spawn though, because of this chieftain back here. Fortunately, it looks like my guard was not in range. What we're doing here is trying to bait out his chieftain by not attacking. He's silenced at this point, so it's really not that good. Let's see where he moves him to, though. Alright, this really opens up the Juggernaut ability. I'm really considering not moving my guard here, but what I choose to do instead is block off access to this Juggernaut back here. I really want to get at least a 2-for-1, and at minimum I'm usually trying to get a 3-for-1, honestly. So this was a little weird set of actions here. For some reason I thought that my my guy would not take damage, which obviously he doesn't take return damage, but for some reason I had thought that he wasn't going to take any damage at all. Alright, we're going to take him down into a killable range and finish off that guy in the back. We have a clear board here with a Thracian out on our side, so it's looking kinda decent. However, I've used a lot of my power cards already, and if I don't really draw into something at this point, which is what I'm really looking to do here with these Harpies, and he completely turns it around with a Blight. That Blight really screwed me over. And here is where I really messed up, probably. I really didn't need to play that Calamity there. Not that it really would have helped, but might have been useful later. Here it was kind of a hard choice between Guan Yu and Ao Kuang, but Ao Kuang is really going to be the one to drop because you want to deal with threats with the Guan Yu. Guan Yu, Rolling Thunder, and Hero Power can really kill a lot of a board. I think we're just going to be doing this to get rid of his Hunbots here. And he's down to 3 cards, I'm down to 5. I kind of start thinking I'm doing pretty good with taking the board back at this point. However, it could be a trickery here. Let's see. He's already used his Blight. All I really have to worry about is the dragon, I guess. So we're going to start moving everything forward, clear off his side of the board, and drop the Guan Yu. And this is where I probably should have just let the board be where it was and kept my Guan Yu in hand. We're going to be powering up to kill this guy here. Luckily, I was not punished for leaving that Guan Yu open there, but we still are probably going to be trying to finish this soon, because this could be flipped around at any time. I do think, however, it's like probably over at this point. Yeah, definitely. We're going to be closing this out with a Rush of Thunder, Guan Yu, and we've got him down to 6 life at this point. So we finish it with the Dragon King. Alright, it looks like we've got another Mayan to face, and this time I think we've got a little bit better of a hand to do it with. Really considering pitching this Chaos Spawn. However, I think what it's going to come down to is if there's a Hunbats in the back, or their stupid 5-cost dragon guy, we definitely want to be able to deal with that immediately, rather than worrying about trying to get that guy later. Now here, that probably was a mistake. I should have ran my Fire Imp here in the back. And if I did, I might have honestly had a little bit more control of this game from the beginning. Right now, I'm definitely playing from behind. So what we're thinking of doing is just trying to really just beat him down, but him getting the zombie power thing that boosts all of them on the board, we're now starting to get into a point where it's going to be really hard to fight all of this off. Luckily, we already silenced this Cabricon. Excuse me. And we do get a nerfed squirrel here in the back. Fortunately, he is down to a 2-2 instead of a 2-3, or was he a 3-2 before? No, I think he was a 2-3. That's right. Yeah, we're really running out of options quick here. He doesn't have anything row stacked for me to try to win with a Dragon King or something. And he even plays another one of those damn buff cards. Trying to win this, but it's really not looking good at this point. He's got me down to 7 life and 7 unspent mana. I don't really have much to deal with that. He's showing 6 damage on the board currently. We're able to take him down, but I don't think this is going to be enough. Yep, looks like we're going to be getting a loss here. Well, that's unfortunate. However, it happens. We jump right back into it, and we have a Chinese versus Zeus matchup this time, which is a much more favorable matchup compared to the zombie madness that I got rocked with last round. We dropped the Imperial Guard for a really strong beat stick. If he plays anything in the front row, I'd be very surprised. And that's almost worse, to be honest. By not playing anything, no matter what he plays next turn, I'm going to be able to do 4 damage to it. That's not going to be able to be stopped. And that's because of the hero power and my Imperial Guard here, who gets boosted and takes no strike back damage as a result. So we got to really move fast here because of the Chronos ability. We're going to use the hero power and pass to him. Now the other thing that could have worked was playing that Shen, but if I went Shen and then used my stored hero power that I had, I might have had more of a board position, but I'd rather just try to have more damage to deal with stuff. Like, for example, if you're talking about a Greek deck, you really need to be able to do 6 damage out of nowhere to deal with Ares. If he casts Ares and stuns one of your guys, the next turn, like, half your mana kills his Ares and you're able to drop something else. This deck is too fast for Greek, pretty much. Having Ao Kuang and projection for turn 5 is really nice. I'm looking at what I've got here. Unfortunately, Ao Kuang plus projection is still not 6 damage. And that's all 8 of my mana. So I'm going to have to be using the less efficient way of killing him, but it should still do the job. It's a lot of cards to kill one guy, but you got to remember he was also buffed. So it was technically 3 cards for 2 cards, and only one of those cards that I used was not my hero power. So it's not too bad when you think about it. You can use the hero power a little bit more liberally as long as you've been stacking them when possible. Obviously, if you don't have the board position, it's not really the best idea to be to be using your mana to just store hero powers. But in slow matchups, like for example with Greek, I'll play off curve a lot of the time, and my 5-drop will be like an Imperial Guard and a hero power. It's really not too bad. And if I don't have something that needs to be targeted, I'm just going to be saving it to turn them into 1,000 spears later. So looks like I really have this game under control. Again, I have a lot of threats still in Gods Alone, so he can't Wrath of God me. Just going to stun his guy here and start beating on his Summoning Stone. And that should get him enough to one-shot it. Yep. Sweet. Alright, so our next one we have Chinese versus Odin. And Odin's not the best matchup. It's not a bad matchup either. Especially if you have Rolling Thunder in hand. If he at any time gets like 3 or more skeletons on the board, just Rolling Thunder that shit into the ground. Because you don't want to get hit with Siege for like 12 damage. You will lose the game. But other than that, you have a lot of options in the creature kill that's very mana efficient. Like for example, this Beckoning Strike. For 3, I'm going to be able to kill his 4-drop. Or possibly not, because he fates it. But he had to use a card in addition there. And I have a pretty good response to that. Which is, let's just nuke everything off the board. And it's really bad for being the Odin side of it. If you can't keep that constant pressure up, you're going to lose really quick. I think we're just going to be going for the spear transformation here. Put the character out of range of his Ymir, and frenzy or not, he won't be freezing my character this way. I'm really considering the Dragon King here, but because we have the spears from last turn, I'm going to play the Ao Kuang and then take Ymir off the board. It's kind of annoying. But we will Calamity that big line of crap there. Start picking everything off. Because again, it's really a board control game. Chinese versus Odin. As soon as you eliminate all their threats and they're not able to strike at your summoning stone, you have complete control of the game. It's just getting there is very difficult sometimes, depending on what your opening draw is. Alright, well, we're going to finish this off here on this turn. And good game. Dragon King is such a cool card. Oh, cool. It looks like we got another Zeus game. And again, with Zeus, like what we're talking about before, we want to play conservatively. It's really about trying to get more on the board than he does, so you can always kill what they immediately put on the board. And why that's important is because if Zeus gets the advantage where he's just pumping his gods up every turn, that pump is way more valuable than Chinese power unless you have an augmented hero power either through Ao Kuang or Guan Yu or something. Then obviously Chinese is better. But I'm going to be playing conservatively, letting them take free shots at my summoning stone if need be, but trying to get the best trades if possible so that the first board clear is going to be from my side. I want him reacting to what I cast every turn, not the opposite. And it's kind of hard to think that Greek is... Oh man, that he just pulled a Ravana. That's a really good card. I'm not looking forward to going up against that if he can keep pumping that. We do get the Erlong Sheng, however, and spear this guy in the face. Oh yeah. So at this point, I feel like, not that we've automatically won the game at this point, but it's going to be really hard for the Greek player to get back. Ravana or not, especially if I draw into like a projection or something, which is what I was considering with this Harpy. Like, I was really considering playing this Harpy here, and then doing Ao Kuang and Hero Power next turn. It is kind of a hard choice, to be honest. I instead choose to just use the Sun Wukong and fly everyone across the board. And that's right, I would rather protect my Gladiator over the 4/4. It's way more useful to get free hero powers. However, if I did keep the Shenglong there, or Earl Shang, God, I can't remember that guy's name. Sorry, I've been playing a little bit too much Division, to be honest. It's been their like anniversary month. Erlong Shang, there we go. Jeez. That's okay. We're just going to be wrapping this one up a little bit, with a little bit on top with this Fire Giant. I got a lot of cards and he's only got a little. Just looking, seeing what I'm going to be doing next turn and then pass the turn. Nemesis or not, I'm going to be blocking off a lot of stuff. Probably going to be calamitying his whatever he drops that's a threat and just going straight for the summoning stone at this point. Yeah. Why not? Alright, he gives up. No problem. Alright. Looks like we've got another Odin match. Which, man, not looking forward to possibly getting ganked here, but I do think that we can play a little heavy here on the spell kill, and I did get a Rolling Thunder or Rushing Thunder, and Rushing Thunder, yeah. So I feel a little better. Clear the board here. He's probably going to be dropping a Thor, I'm guessing. Yeah. Not really the best thing for something to drop, but also not the worst, I guess. Here we're kind of looking what we got. End up going with the Imperial Guard, really because it just didn't make sense to use the Erlong Sheng to get 0 spear conversions. So I just decided to get the Imperial Guard instead. So we go with another Imperial Guard. Save the hero power this time. Any damage that are going into these Imperial Guards that aren't going into my tower is completely fine by me. It's pretty interesting. So we're gonna probably be playing the Erlang Shen here, and then take down that Thor. Yeah, that's a pretty easy decision. That's why it's really important to get good value out of your Erlang, because he's going to generate you a lot of card advantage and a shitload of tempo play. As you can see, his Gladiator and his little weenie there. Ooh, not so much of a weenie anymore. Okay, 3/3 there. It's quite the handful to deal with. Yeah, that makes sense. I think we're going to be going for